Yo, what's good everyone? So the Spider-Punk buff has just come out, so we're going to be doing a bit of a rank 3 showcase. Haven't done a showcase in a while, so yeah, happy to be getting back to these. We're going to be looking at mainly Battlegrounds fights, but I have a few story content stuff sprinkled in there as well. Now the buff didn't change much about Spider-Punk. As far as I can tell, all the buff did was increase his rupture damage of the SB2 and increase his burst damage of the SB1. I don't think he's gained any extra utility. His abilities are actually bugged right now. Well, just his abilities on his character page because they're the same as they were pre-buff, but don't worry, he has actually been buffed and his damage is a lot better now. In long fights, well not long fights, but in fights that are above around 350k health, you don't want to go for the SB2, SB1 rotation. I find it much better just to spam special 2s and let the ruptures tick them down. I actually did a SB1 rotation fight against that Captain Marvel and it took around 1 minute 20, but spamming special 2s, we got Captain Marvel down in 50 seconds. So yeah, that's definitely the way to go for longer fights. Now we're moving on to the Battleground fights, and Spider-Punk is a great Onslaught counter because if you don't already know, when Spider-Punk parries, he will evade. And because of this, Spider-Punk can actually parry Onslaught. On top of that, he won't be inflicted with the Daunted, so there's no downside to parrying Onslaught here whatsoever. So Spider-Punk is honestly one of the better Onslaught counters for Battlegrounds. Jack-O-Lantern just came out and he can parry Onslaught, but he still gets Daunted placed on him. Just saying, Spider-Punk may be the better Onslaught counter. But yeah, in Battlegrounds, most of the time you are going to want to go for the SB2 into SB1 rotation, but it depends on the health pool of your opponent. We'll get into that more a bit later on. For now, we're going to be fighting this rank 3 Red Skull, and again, Spider-Punk is a great counter to him, thanks to that evade. Now, if you don't already know, for each armor up on Red Skull, your ability accuracy on your stuns is reduced by 10%. So he's at 8 armor ups now. That means our stun ability accuracy is reduced by 80%. We have an 80% chance for our stun not to land on our parry. But Spider-Punk doesn't care about that because he will still counter evade. His stun will not stick off the counter evade, but that counter evade is still long enough for you to get in a combo afterwards. So he's a great counter to champions you cannot stun. He works on stun immune nodes perfectly because of that counter evade. You get a free opening with the parry still. And yeah, this SB1 is massive, 30k per hit on the SB1 there. So that was 120k SB1, not bad. Spider-Punk doesn't actually have that much utility. His main utility is his evade on parry, but to be fair, the evade on parry does cover a lot of ground. Some of his other utility pieces is he has a taunt on his heavy attack and his encore passives, but he needs to be duped to get these encore passives, whatever you call them. I'm sure I'm pronouncing them wrong, okay? So I can see the comments coming already. Yes, British, I'm British, okay, I can't pronounce things, we get it. But as I was saying, your opponent will be inflicted with an encore passive each time they use a special attack. Each time they use the same special attack in a row, they will be inflicted with another one, and these can stack up to 3. For each one of these encore passives, you will gain extra attack on your special attacks. Your opponent will be more likely to throw their special attack, so it works kind of like a taunt. And most importantly, when you inflict one of these encore passives whilst your opponent is already suffering from one, you will inflict one of your rupture debuffs from your SB2, and this really helps out his damage. But like I mentioned, these encore passives only come from Spider-Punk's signature ability. So does he need the dupe? It does help his damage a lot, and it gives him some extra utility with the taunt basically. But I would say he's still fine unduped because realistically, Spider-Punk is good, right? But the only reason you would rank this guy is if you like the character, if you find him cool, because there are better champions out there. He's got good damage now, but there are champions that have more damage than him and have much more utility, like Hulk, Titania, etc. So the only reason you would really rank Spider-Punk is if you're a fan of him. So he can do most of the stuff he can duped, unduped. So I would say he's still worth ranking unduped if you're a fan of the character. And I'm not calling him a bad champion at all. He's a very solid champion now. It's just the science class is so OP and there are stronger champions than him. So if you're just looking to rank the very best champions in game, this champion is probably not for you. If you're looking to rank up a cool champion that you'll have fun with, or maybe a Onslaught counter for Battlegrounds, yeah, he can definitely be worth ranking up. Is he a good defender? Kind of. He will evade you when you try to intercept him, so he can catch some people off guard. In high tier Battlegrounds, of course, he's not going to do much on defense, but in the lower tiers, yeah, I can see him doing some stuff on defense. He works for Havoc because, he doesn't crit much, so yeah, you're not going to get many plasmas on yourself, so you're not going to take any detonation damage. And that Sasquatch fight we just had, you might have saw we went for 2 SB2s instead of the SB2 into SB1. You need to against Sasquatch, it's much faster just to go for 2 SB2s against large health pool opponents like Korg, like Sasquatch, etc. But for normal health pool opponents like Havoc, or any of the other champions I've shown on this list, you just want to go for SB2 into SB1, and that is overkill a lot of the time. You only need to go for 2 SB2s against the really chunky opponents. This guy is a sector attacker, however. The current victory track node in Battlegrounds is the war meta, so sector attackers are strong against provocator defenders. So if you're in victory track, if you have trouble in victory track normally, then Spider-Punk will help you out for that. So if you have a 7-star, might be worth rank 2 in him to get yourself out of victory track to help you push out of there. I am recording all of these fights in the victory track meta because I cannot be asked with the current gladiator circuit meta with all the power gain. Yeah, it will slow all the fights down. It will make Spider-Punk look much worse because if you're baiting out a million special attacks, the fight is obviously going to be much longer. And there's just so much power gain that it's not even fun to play. Honestly, if they don't change the node in Battlegrounds, I'm probably not even going to push this season. I'll probably just play in tournaments or something like that because I'm sick of Battlegrounds, man. I'm so sick of it. I didn't even want to play it to get the clips for these videos, but yeah, I had fun with Spider-Punk still, even though I'm hating Battlegrounds at the moment. Last fight of the video was against this Iron Goat Infinity War, very tricky defender, but Spider-Punk can bypass that last 15% of Iron Man Infinity War, which is the worst part thanks to the burst damage. So yeah, he's a pretty great counter to him. You just have to keep in mind that you can't evade Iron Man's first medium attack, so you have to parry his light attack or his second medium attack to trigger the evade. And you can see there we are gaining a fury and a power gain. You might have noticed that they are from the node, not Spider-Punk's own abilities, but I have to stress that this fury and this power gain are really weak. They're very low potency. So, this is not a unrealistic showcase. Spider-Punk would do almost all of these fights. Well, yeah, he'd do all of these fights pretty much the exact same in an average meta. So, yeah, don't worry about that power gain or fury because it's really small. But that's it for Battlegrounds for now. Now we're going to be fighting this Eternity of Pain Vision. He has the node where he goes special 1, special 2. Then he's going to hit you with a special 3. So you either need strong power control or taunt, and luckily Spider-Punk has some of the best taunt in the entire game with them encore passives and the taunt off the heavy attack. So there's no risk of Vision holding for a special 3 here. We're easily going to bait out all of those special attacks. I guess you could say that Spider-Punk is a masturbator. It kind of fits. Spider-Punk, Spunk, masturbator. It's all making sense now. But yeah, man, Vision has 700k health and we get this down in like 40 seconds. That's some really nice damage. We are running synergies here to be fair, but we're outside of Battlegrounds now, so who cares? Let's have some fun and run some synergies. Last fight of the video is going to be this Labyrinth Star-Lord, 3 million health, and we're going to find out if Spider-Punk is good for long form content. In these longer fights, you want to go for an SB3 with Spider-Punk. What this will do is it will just increase the duration of all your future ruptures. So I was kind of confused what rotation to go in this fight, because the special 3 increases the duration of all your ruptures, right? So I was deciding if it was better to just spam special 2s and let the ruptures tick Star-Lord down, or go for special 2, special 1 rotations for the burst damage. So I tried both. But yeah, he's definitely not the best for long form content. This fight takes around 3 minutes, which, you know, is decent. That's 1 million health per minute, but it's far from the best. He's not meant for long fights. He's meant for Battlegrounds fights. That's what his rotation is designed for, the special 2 into special 1. That's what it's designed for. He's supposed to be a very strong Battlegrounds attacker, and I wouldn't describe him as very strong, but he's solid. He's well worth ranking up, especially if you struggle with Onslaught or if you just find a character cool. Yeah, he's definitely worth ranking up. Now, as a 7-star, I wouldn't bother ranking up the 6-star version of him. I don't think he's good enough to deserve that when there's a 7-star version out there. But yeah, man, that's my opinion on him. He's a solid champ, better champs out there, but he definitely has his place in game. I do wish they gave him just a little extra piece of utility with the buff to help push him into the god tier champions. I think if they gave him a way to reverse power gain, or made him completely buff immune, just something else, an extra ability other than the taunt and the evade on parry, I think that really would have pushed him to being a god tier champion. He's got some of the best animations in game. He looks so cool. I feel like he should have been one of the best champions in the game, and he's just not quite there. But it's fine, he's solid and he's well worth the rank up, and that's all you can ask for at the end of the day. You know, you can't be making champions broken constantly, otherwise the game would be broken. But on that note, I'm going to end the video. If you enjoyed it, I'd appreciate it if you'd leave a like. We are very close to hitting 6k subscribers, so if you're not subscribed, yeah man, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that button, and I will see you all in the next video.